Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Friday, June 14th, 1 a.m. Mountain Time, 2019. Take a look at the U.S. corn and soybean acres left to plant on June 2nd. On June 2nd, U.S. farmers still had 82 million acres of corn to plant. Holy macaroni. Now, this dwarfs second place of 54 million in 1995. And only 2 other years still had 40 million left on June 2nd. Holy sh... Keep calm. Grand solar minimum much? Let's get rid of this. Why is that up there? Okay, we're working on it. Technical difficulties. Keep calm. It's boom time. Yes, this U.S. soybean crop may be in big trouble. Fort Collins, Colorado. The soybean market has shown little fear over U.S. corn prospects so far this month, despite this graph, which shows you everything. This dotted line is 2019. Here is the 20-year average running. Percent emerged as of June 9th. Unprecedented territory. It's uncharted. Do you smell that? I think someone near record cold in Kansas could have something to do with it. Holy sh... Let's fix the screen. Okay. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The sky clear and the wind diminishes tonight. Temperatures drop near the 40s in Iowa. That could mean bad planting. I'll tell you what else means bad planting. Stratospheric radiation increasing for the rest of your lives. Here we see cosmic ray increasing on the graph in Kansas, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Maine, California, everywhere. Now, we're not here to scare you. We're here to prepare you. Solar activity has a direct impact on Earth's cloud cover. This is coming from the work of Svensmark and others, including the Rocca Institute of Physics at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And this was published by the Journal of Geophysical Research. So, peer-reviewed, out the buttocks. Thank you, Svensmark. We're picking up what you put down decades ago. And the new CMIP data suggests an extended period of solar decline extending through 2100, which is your entire life. Which means this is the last tippy touch, 2014, of any respite ever. Record flooding is the new norm. Trust me on that one. Recovery slow for area lakes. Parks slammed by flooding. This is in Kansas. Kansas! Sedgwick County, Kansas has had a Father's Day weekend and 4th of July. Lakes are 5 to 10 feet above normal in Kansas, which is in the middle of the country. Flooding may have polluted more than 140,000 residential wells in Missouri. Damn. Choose wisely where you live. Mississippi residents flooded out for 4 months. They say the EPA could save them, but they won't. Now, this is true. There are layers of reasons why this is a bad project, the pumping project. Because if you're going to rely on people to pump all this water out of this region so that you can live here, maybe you should have decided to live somewhere else or bought a houseboat, for Christ's sake. Now, the Mississippi River down in Mississippi has laid waste to 550,000 acres of Mississippi Delta, including 225,000 acres of farmland, and it's affected 500 homes. These people should have never moved there. This is land that should have never been sold. Get out of Dodge. Snowmelt fills the Rio Grande Other rivers in the southwest U.S. are full, including the Blanco out my front door and the San Juan. Colorado was blanketed by 134% of its normal snowfall last winter. Utah was even better at 138%. And guess what happens when it gets warm, kids? June snow surveys happen in the Sierras, and they're a rarity. But when there's still feet of snow in the Sierras, they do one. A wet winter bringing large amounts of snow and unseasonably low spring temperatures to the Sierra combine to keep the snowpack lingering like a tingering. So much snow that Nevada Irrigation District hydrographers were able to conduct surveys at English Mountain and Weebler Peak on June 1st, according to a release. Just a tippy touch of things to come. Top secret. The mainstream will not talk about a June snow survey. Hello. White screen. And that is absolutely not what we're looking at here. Damn it. Snow in Wyoming is what we really want. This was just posted. The posted of the mosted. This was just 24 hours ago. Actually, 12. This is traffic webcam on US 26, US 287 northwest of Lander. Lander had 81 foot of snow this winter. Take a gander at Lander. And that's tonight's first boom. Winter will begin shortly. Al Gore is looking portly. Michigan's climate models project 30% increase in rain and snow, plus rising temps. You're all going to die as it continues to pour and snow piles up. But it is crunch time, folks. 31 million corn acres unplanted. Unprecedented. God, I wish I had a solution. It's not a good time to be a farmer, however, unless you're a permaculture farmer like I am. Small scale, just to supply the local community. Northeast Iowa crops critically suffering due to continuous rain and the need for agricultural inputs and chemicals and other and flooding. The fact that all that farmland is... Great Lakes reveal a fatal flaw in climate change science. Now, let's get back to it. This is important. Lake Erie, Lake Superior, other lakes. Subscribers are sending me in information. They've never seen it in their entire lives like this as the water continues to come up. Did you know just a few years ago, climate scientists were insisting that global warming and climate change would cause water levels to decline? And now, naturally, climate change is being blamed for the flooding. The exact opposite of what they claimed 2 years ago. But the sheep are lame, and they will not notice the difference. And they will flock. They will flock like the sheep that they are. Flock to the headline. What does it say? What's the new piece of information? Oh, okay. Yeah, did you hear? All the flooding is global warming, man. It's like global warming. I thought everything was burning from global warming, and now everything's flooding? It's weird. Severe thunderstorms possible from the plains to the upper Midwest. These storms are capable of damaging winds, large hail, heavy rainfall. Tornadoes will be possible from the central and southern plains to the upper Midwest, both Friday and Saturday, which is Shatterday here. We'll get to that. Flooding on the entire Mississippi Delta, all the way up north through Illinois. Mother Nature dealt us an awful hand. Island oysters growers predict poor yield. PEI, Prince Edward Island. Some fellas lost their seed. Holy shit. And some fellas lost their bigger oysters. It's just the way nature is. Said only an oyster farmer in Prince Edward Island ever. You know what this is due to? Climate change. Yeah. If climate change means global cooling and the grand solar minimum, then that's what it means. Because that's what happened there. Jesus. We're having connectivity issues. Let me parse up some of these tabs before we do some dabs live. In depth, frost, fever, and worms. So inflation in China's supermarkets. Look at the prices in China. I don't even know what that is. A triple whammy of fatal pig disease, low fruit stocks, corn-devouring caterpillars are wreaking havoc on China's food supplies. You add in the grand solar minimum, and you know what that equals? Boom. That's boom time, kids. It's boom time. Food prices rose 6.1% year on year on average in April, up from a 4.1% rise the previous month, driving up the overall consumer inflation to a 6-month high. Oh my God. How high can they get? Especially because they don't have legal cannabis. Jesus. Thank God that Mike is... Chinese vegetable prices hit record highs as Diamond gets a gift from a subscriber. Take a look. Take a look at this device. Now, this is the Yocan Evolve Plus XL. Now, you want to do a dab. If you think you're dab worthy, check out the magnetic top. And then this screws right off. So this is the quad coil. Let me take this cap off. Take a look at that. That is a quad coil filled with... This is filled with top knots Illinois Gorilla Glue. Now I'm going to just... That's like 45 dabs right there. And that's a big thank you to Annika Patel out there in Illinois. Now, let's get back to the facts. Chinese vegetable prices hit record highs, the result of persistent cold and record rains. Dab highs. That's how high they are. Boom! The world is exploding, and we're going to cover it live. We're going to show you what's going on here. It's like a Charlemagne event kicking off. 5.2 Vanuatu, Blot Echo 81. We have a cacophony of quakes. After 6.4 in Chile kicked off, we have some major aftershocks in that region. Heads up Tonga, North, and the North Island. La Esperance rocking. So we have major quakes worldwide kicking off. I should check some space weather. Got some fragquakes in Oklahoma. And not only that, we had a strange quake in Mifflintown, PA today. Heads up, Allentown. That is the normal fault on the New Brunswick Basin there, which means that the earth is spreading. I mean, that's all that means. That's the normal fault from the last time the earth spread during the Allegheny orogeny. Maybe this happens more often than I was taught. It's anybody's guess. No major quakes of note, but some interesting uptick. Worldwide volcano news update. Reventador to 15,000 feet. Shivalush. Dukono blasting to 7,000 twice. Shivalush again to 13. Klucheskov up there in the Kamchatka, like we've been warning all morning. Holla. Roundup's risk could go well beyond cancer. Well, evidence of the cheap herbicide's danger to biological functions and the environment continues to mount. I had no idea, except that I researched it for over a fucking decade, and we already knew this 10 years ago. Why are U.S. regulators not listening? Well, because there's people called lobbyists and payoffs, and everybody wants a payday. Chemicals giant bear AG, a.k.a. Monsanto, is reeling after a jury awarded $2 billion in damages to people who say they contracted cancer after years of using Roundup. Well, that's exactly why I helped start the March Against Monsanto back in 2012, so that they could suck it. And that is the only worthy boom in a while. Hey, Bear. EPA cuts off funding for kids' health research centers. This is so you don't know that your kid has lead in them and others from vaccines, GMOs, and the like. Thanks, EPA, the environmental protection assholes. Yeah, we're over 10 minutes. Hundreds of new pesticides approved in Brazil under Bolsonaro. This guy's awesome. Many of those permitted since far-right president took power are banned in Europe, but not in the U.S. So, heads up. We'll probably do business with them, and you'll eat that shit every fucking day. And you'll love it. Just like the Soylent Green when you get there. Like swimwear. Let's reopen this closed tab, because I just did a big tab, and I don't know what's going on. Hello, Sarah Huckabee. Leaving the White House. That's certainly not why we had open here. Let's get to this micronova. The sun could unleash a massive super flare in the next 100 years, scientists warn. This is hitting the mainstream. Apparently, all the mainstream scientists watch our channel, and they're shitting their pants. Yeah. They don't want to be held accountable for lying to you. We would never lie to you. Colorado passes $1 billion in marijuana state revenue. Do you know what that means? Cannabis could cure everything, could pay for everything, and everyone would be happy. Everyone would be happy, joyous, and free. Everyone would be, the majority of people would be cured from their mental illness, quote unquote. They would be free of the pharmaceutical industry, and they would be free of stress. Now, the pharmaceutical industry would crumble because people's immune systems would become in homeostasis, and they would no longer need all those drugs. Their blood pressures would lower, their quality of life would increase, and they wouldn't see the doctor much less because they wouldn't give a... And hopefully that's what's happening before your very lives, in our very eyes. Colorado just passes $1 billion in marijuana state revenue. That's huge. The highest grossing months in April and May, because I was at the dispensary a lot, with roughly $24 million in total state revenue from cannabis each month, because Diamond was there. It took the state roughly 3.5 years to reach $500 million, but then I moved here, and we just went boom, right past $1 billion. Holy schmillion. Deuces. We love you, Colorado. The sun could unleash, have you heard, a massive super flare in the next 100 years? It was the year 2000, and scientists had never seen anything like it. Astronomers reported evidence of super flares on distant stars, solar outbursts, many thousands of times more energetic than typical solar flares. As researchers observed over subsequent studies, these intense eruptions were more common on young and rapidly rotating stars, and on stars exhibiting high levels of magnetic activity. And as our magnetic field collapses and reverses. And Doug Vogt is now famous. Well, it's boom time, micro boom time. Yeah. Are you picking it up? Will climate change kill everyone? Well, or just lots and lots of people? Well, hopefully they'll be all sheeple. And it's a yes and a yes. But that climate change is like, in the infamous words of Brett Stump, climate has been changing forever. And when it ceases to change, then there will be a problem. And the fact that you think you can control it, that's another problem. Hey, did you see this? Star Trek Starfleet logo has been spotted on Mars. It's all over the interwebs. Thank you, Annika. I'm going to have to think about this one. Now, as a geologist, I officially conclude that this is the Star Trek Starfleet logo, and it has been spotted on Mars. Or it's a dune feature, or a longitudinal. Anyway, the hippies were right. It's all about vibrations. Yeah. Take a look. There's a picture, for Christ's sake. Why are some things conscious and others apparently not? Well, because of politics and mainstream media, usually. Is a rat conscious? A bat? Do you smoke crack? These questions are all aspects of the ancient mind-body problem, which has resisted a generally satisfying conclusion for thousands of years. And now, apparently, is creating thousands of queers. The mind-body problem enjoyed a major rebranding over the last 2 decades and is generally known as the hard problem. Viagra much? Of consciousness. Usually I can't even continue this nonsense. Anyway. It's all about the guru. Pay him $10 a month and sound and light will save you. Or do your own homework and save your own ass. You fucking schmucks. The ocean on Jupiter's moon, Europa, has table salt, just like Earth's seas, which, by the way, is asymmetric and cubic. Quite amazing symmetry. Remember what was that, Madonna? That's the same as the cube, right? So, as we're making the salt cube, Madonna is striking a pose. Right on. Isometric, cubic, sodium chloride. The huge ocean sloshing beneath the shell ice of the Jupiter moon Europa may be intriguingly similar to the seas of Earth, which means that there's whales there and mermaids. So if you're desperate and a creepy old dude, go up there and get laid. Do it now. Do a dab. Annika style. This shit is... My God. Did you know that we're only catching half of all Ebola outbreaks, study suggests? That means that there's twice as many people dying of Ebola than you know about it. And we're twice as fucked as we thought. Hey, check out our new channel. Oh, you're watching it right now. Subscribe. Sorry about that. Actually, I wanted to talk about Matt Powers. Hours of Powers with Matt. We're going to be talking tomorrow about the history of soil science. And if you don't know who Matt Powers is, I'm about to show you. Now, soil science comes from the field of geology, which is where I am trained in. Now, Justus von Liebig in 1803 to 1873, that was his time frame of life. He's responsible for modifying and refining agricultural scientists who work on samples of soil in labs and greenhouses. And there was also work by Nathaniel Shaler 1841 to 1906, classifying soils. Alluvial plains, low S's, marine terraces, and the like. And if you want to know more about the history of soil science, there'll be a link below. But let's get to soil. More importantly, the conversation I'm going to have tomorrow with Matt Powers, the permaculture student. Awesome dude. Let's go over to his page. So here's our first talk. 2,500 people watched it, which is embarrassing.
If you manage a team.
That's embarrassing. 12,000 people watch a Nibiru video, but 2,500 people watch a video about actually saving the planet. Now, the good news is that probably over 500 people subscribed to Matt's channel since our first interview, and I would expect another 500 of you to subscribe after that, because you're all permaculture students. Every human in life is a permaculture student, and soil is important. Here's the soil profile. A, B, C, and then the transition to the bedrock. And it's zone A that's most important, the biodynamic zone, which may actually go down into B in some areas. But let's talk about biodynamic agriculture and what that actually means. Anthroposophy. Biodynamic agriculture is a form of alternative agriculture very similar to organic farming. However, it's more closely related to permaculture because it includes various esoteric concepts drawn from the ideas of Rudolf Steiner. Now, who is Rudolf Steiner? It's anyone's guess. But he was the founder of the biodynamic approach to agriculture. Born 1861, died 1925. He was a highly trained scientist and respected philosopher in his time, who later in his life came to prominence for his spiritual scientific approach to knowledge called anthropocene. Whatever it's called, long before many of his contemporaries. Now, Steiner came to the conclusion that Western civilization would gradually bring destruction to itself and the earth if it did not begin to develop an objective understanding of the spiritual world and its interrelationship with the physical world through farming, which is a big boom. Now, biodynamics has much in common with other organic approaches. It emphasizes the use of manures and compost tea, and excludes the use of artificial chemicals, which were developed by Monsanto. Methods unique to the biodynamic approach include its treatment of animals, crops, and soil in a single flowing system where nutrients and biodynamic chemicals are created by life in a cohesive system that mimics nature. Where have I heard that before? Well, I'm going to be hearing a lot about it tomorrow night when Matt and I talk. And if you want to get more out of nature, check out Hemp Lucid and the link below every one of our videos, where you get an exclusive website with 20% off all Hemp Lucid products. All of them. You know how many? All of them. And they even have stuff for your dog. And you can sign up for email updates. Do it now. And if you want to start farming, check out our Preparedness store. It is so thorough. I spent so much time on this. long-term food storage, season extenders, survival essentials, survival supplements, including shungite. We have a library, grand solar minimum preparedness, ham radios, worldwide communication, wood gasifiers, solar flashlights, UVA-BC meters, Geiger counters, solar generators, CB technology, bombs, storm shelters, bulk seed, portable heaters, greenhouses, telescopes, survival seats, thermal imagers, Scandinavian hatchets, winter survival, everything. Wind turbines, for Christ's sake. Prepared, not scared. Survive and thrive. We even have links to our Patriot Supply. Preparewiththeranch.com. Preparewiththeranch.com. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. We love each and every one of you. Plant a seed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, why are you watching me? Am I that funny? Thank you to all of our Patreons. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. Please join us at patreon.com below. Thank you to all our one-time donors. Top Knot, get your ass out here. Hurry the up. We love you. Be safe. Plant a seed. Do something different.